Snow is gold. Snow is great for business. It's the psychology of snow. So people, for whatever reason in Minnesota, when it snows, they want to go out. They want to go places, they want to do things. So this afternoon, I picked up a customer at St. Thomas and took him over to the Minneapolis Institute of Art. And it's, a 5-mile ride. It took us nearly 90 minutes, taking side roads from, going across the Marshall Street Bridge into South Minneapolis. And then the drive back to St. Paul actually took an hour and 18 minutes. Right now, I don't think side streets are the way to go because they're in such poor condition. At least the highways are free and clear. You may only be going 5 or 10 miles an hour, but at least you're moving. I don't mind driving on bad roads. I like driving in snowstorms. But I will say that when I finish, I'm physically 10 times more exhausted. And when I wake up the next day, I actually feel hungover.
So any crazy Christmas stories that you don't want your mom to know about? I won't put them in, I promise.
The night she got busted for DUI, she was in a clown costume. Somehow I don't believe you. I feel like the juicier of things I tell you, the more likely.
Hey, that's, it bleeds, it leads. What can you say?
Yeah. Well, one thing I do see a lot of at Christmas time, I see a lot of fake money.
Is that
cabs
right?
are one of the first places that people try to pass off fake 20s, 50s, 100s because it's in the dark, right? So they don't think that we're going to notice that it's a fake bill. So cabs are one of the first places those people spend that money and try to, exchange their fake money for real money.
So how do you tell?
Well, I have, a few, obviously there's the typical tricks on how to tell fake money, and I do have a pen that I keep handy, and I always turn on the light when I accept cash, especially this time of year, because people try all sorts of tricks with their money. I mean, they'll fold it over, make it look like something else, they do all kinds of things. But when the holidays come, people start printing money. I haven't seen anything fake that was less than a 20, but I know other cab drivers that have actually seen fake 5s and 10s. I did get scared the day I found out my mom was following me on Twitter.
Oh, is that right?
My mom is very conservative, and I went, oh no.
Uh-oh.
And I told
She'd
my mom,
seen any of the videos?
I said, no, she hasn't actually. I said, Mom, if you're going to follow me on Twitter, don't follow me if you can't handle what you're going to read. Because there's a lot of cab driving that my parents, I keep them a little bit in the dark with. I mean, it's a dangerous job, and they worry about me enough as it is. My parents live in rural Minnesota. They're probably not, I'm not going to say they're sheltered, but they know cab driving is dangerous, but do they really know what I see? Probably not. Probably not. That's probably better.
You carry a knife or a tire checker or anything like that?
I don't actually, but I do have one of my first, most scary moments in my cab was 2 months in. I was fresh enough that I was still in the trusting mode, so I just assumed the best of everybody. Nowadays, I see something sketchy, I see a guy coming from a wrong address, whatever it might be, I drive off. All of a sudden, he starts going for my stuff. And so I'm like, what the heck are you doing, And so we're fighting over my purse, we're going back and forth.
Like reaching in the front seat?
Yeah, and what he doesn't know is that the purse sitting between me is just, girl things, makeup, whatever. But it's of value to me. And so he punches me, gets me right here. And that really made me angry, so I turned around and I punched him back. And he was so caught off guard that he just kind of sat there stunned, and he just dropped everything and ran off. Now, it broke the handle on my purse, but he didn't get away with anything. And I didn't call the cops because I had a customer in Woodbury going to the airport, and it was an A customer, and I'm not going to jeopardize an A customer for a black eye. And the eye got really black, and over the next week or so, it got blacker and blacker, and people would just stare at me, and I knew people were judging me. They see me, they see this black eye, they assume I'm a battered woman, and I kind of wanted people to ask me how I got that, because I wanted to be like, you should see the other guy. But yeah, before I drove a cab, I had never had a black eye, so.
That's a good holiday story.
Yeah. If 9 times out of 10, when you get into trouble in your cab, 9 out of those 10 times, the person did this, and then you get somebody that gets in your cab and does that, and then doesn't harm you or rob you or cause you trouble, it throws you off. You're like, oh, that's refreshing. So that does happen all the time. You worry about a person and it ends up being okay. So, but people do surprise you. Absolutely. I pick up a lot of people from jail, and most people that I pick up from jail are actually really, really nice, and they're they're well behaved. They're very thankful to be out of jail. They're thankful to have a ride out of Hastings or wherever that they are, and they are not looking to cause you trouble. They may have wild stories, they may have done wild things to get put in jail, but by the time they get in your cab, they're pretty well subdued. And they aren't going to really give you any trouble. They just want to go where they're going. I really want to see more women driving cab, and I understand why there isn't, but I really think the industry could use more women. We keep cleaner cabs, we're more time oriented. I mean, there's obviously the genuine, honest to goodness danger aspect. I mean, you get people in your cab that maybe they're already thinking about being up to trouble. They see a woman driver and they're gonna be up to trouble because they think we're an easier target. And so if you're not tough enough to either intimidate them or stand up to them or outmaneuver them, you're gonna be eaten alive. You're not gonna last.